Karen here. Wow, some really crazy times we're in, right? Facebook's been exploding, which has been fabulous. Lots of interaction on Facebook. Everyone's staying home, getting on Facebook instead of being out on the beach enjoying themselves or walking or doing things outside. Self-isolation. My guides have been yakking away to me in my head for like constantly 24 hours, and they're saying, put this out there, put this out there, put this out there. And I'm like, nah, maybe other people can do it. I'll do it on the show. I'll do it in the inner sanctum. But there's a lot of fear out there. And when I say out there, in the world. And it's really interesting. I did a post on Facebook about being a vibrational match to the virus. And a lot of people didn't get it. It's so interesting because a lot of people don't know what I teach. A lot of people are friends of mine on Facebook. I don't know how they got there. I've got over 5,000 people. Really only about 50 to 100 interact with me out of all those 5,000. But there you go. That's just how it is. But a lot of people are people that I've known for years or I meet socially and are not tuned in to what I teach or who I am or that I have guidance or the people I have on the show. And it's kind of really interesting, the level of conversation. I find that when things are going well, lovely messages from spirit are well received. But then when the proverbial shift hits the fan, fear arises. And when fear arises, people get really, well, we all know what fear feels like, right? We're marinating in fear in this world. We're absolutely marinating in fear in this world. Defensive is the word, defensive, fear and defensiveness. I think when we're scared, we get defensive, and there's a lot of, not too much, but there's a lot of pushback, happening on Facebook, and even from really beautiful, spiritual, conscious people asking me to be careful what I say and all this sort of thing. And I think it's in times like this when we need to not be careful about what we say. We need to be really bold and stand up for what we believe in and know what's true. And one thing I know it's true, and it's not from reading books or speaking to people or even from my guides talking to me constantly. It's from living life, because you can be told something and you can know it as your truth, you can understand it makes sense, but it is only really when we live something that we know it is true. And that is, in order to manifest anything in this world, including illness or catching viruses or anything, we have to be a vibrational match to the frequency. And so I put a post on, Facebook saying that if you're not a match to the virus, you can't get it. And that seemed to really upset a lot of people, because the mainstream media and doctors and scientists and politicians and movie stars and all sorts of people are out there telling you that no matter what, you're going to get this. So stay indoors. And, that's good advice. That's fine. If you believe you're going to get this, you stay indoors, because that's how this world works. In fact, that's how every world works. Every dimension, every experience, law of attraction governs all of it. We experience this world through the coalescence of frequency and energy. Everything is energy and information vibrating, and it comes together through attraction. Law of attraction is not just about manifesting the life that you want or the home that you want or the boyfriend or the success. Law of attraction is the engine of the universe. Law of attraction governs everything. So I put a post on Facebook. I can't find it here, what did I say? If you don't tune into the vibration of the virus, you are not a match to it. And then I put, fear is the vibration of the virus. Someone put a Facebook post on asking the virus what it's doing here, and it's actually really beautiful what the virus said to these people, that what it's doing here. And it is creating mass change across our planet. It is, shutting down human activity, is allowing the earth to regenerate. I have to say, the rains here in Australia lately, after the fires, before the fires, everything was so yellow, dry, parched, and now everything is so lush because we've had a lot of rain. I really feel like, Mother Gaia is speaking to us. She's absolutely speaking to us. So I don't know if the the vibration of the virus is fear per se, but fear is a vibration that is a denser vibration. Whatever it is that we fear, we usually attract. Think about it. Think about the things that you've feared. We are marinating in fear in this polarized, third dimensional, dense, contrasting environment. We are. And for the most part, we don't even notice our fears, actually. And one of the stories that, in the book series, Awakened by Death, and on the show, Scarlett Lewis spoke about when she realized the worst fear that a mother could ever realize, and that is the senseless murder of her beautiful 5-year-old, that she had this moment inside her grief where she thought, oh, my biggest fear has come true. And she had dropped all her other fears, and she had like a kind of, I call it like a in-body life review, like she didn't have to die to have a life review, and she sort of looked back on her life and saw how fear had run her whole life. But I think that fear runs all our lives. Fear runs us for the most part. I was absolutely marinating in fear for years, and I was doing all sorts of healing work and spiritual work, and I still felt, what was the fear? It was a fear of survival. It was fear over money or survival, and I had to really look at it. Like, why am I so scared that I can't pay my bills, I can't pay the rent? It was like driving me. Boy, the freedom when you drop that fear. I think it was looking into death that really helped me drop that fear. When you understand who we are, when we leave this physical world experience and we die or move on, and you understand that there is no death, there is a freedom that you can live in life. There is a fearlessness that you have. There's a freedom, there's a joy that returns when you understand that this life is temporary, this life is of your creation, this life is your dream. You are the scriptwriter, the producer, the actor on the stage. And when you're done, when you've come to experience all that you've come to experience, you will return to love. You will return to a place of unbounded beauty, infinite creative potential. You'll be reunited with all those people that you've danced with on earth who have exited the matrix before you. There is a sense of joy and freedom that you can live when you know that you don't die, actually. And I think that blessed COVID-19 is doing her job or his job or its job in dredging up a lot of fear that the human race lives in, a lot of fear. What's happening, it's not just the fear of getting ill and not surviving your physical life, dying, but this fear of survival in general with money. I've seen personally friends and clients and family members suffer from the financial burden of what the virus is doing more than the illness. Yeah, it's this financial burden that's happening in the world. And for me, that was the biggest fear that was the biggest fear that I lived with, was this fear of not being able to financially survive. Fear. And the more I bought into that fear, the less money came to me. the bigger the struggle it was to pay the bills and to live, to carve out a life, a business, a way of living. And when I really looked at it, well, okay, so what happens? Oh, there were so many things that happened to me. I'm not going to go into it now, where I didn't have any money. And then people spontaneously gave me money without me asking. People left me money in wills. Like, money came in unimaginable ways when I stopped worrying and started feeling the love of Source. Started feeling the spiritual wisdom that I had been reading about, that I had been diligently trying to practice, started to really feel it. Like, I am loved, I am love, I am loved, I am loved. So feeling loved is one thing, but being love is another, because when you know you are that love that you seek, then you give it. And how do you give it? You're generous with people, you're generous with your time, you're generous with your possessions. You're just generous. You listen to people. You don't talk too much about yourself. You listen to what they have to say. And that generosity of spirit is a fearlessness, of knowing that you are the love that you seek, and there's nothing to worry about. So if we get sick and exit the matrix, then we get sick and exit the matrix. So she, he, it, this being called virus that's ravaging our world at the moment is doing its job in dredging up the fears that we live with as humans. Fear of not enough, fear of not being worthy enough, fear of not enough, fear of survival, fear of scarcity, fear of lack. We've lived with them for a long time, and most people's lives are not enhanced because of them. One person said to me, I put a thing on Facebook saying, did Jesus fear when he attended the leper? Did he buy into the fear of getting sick and dying? Did Mother Teresa think about that when she worked with the contagious? Did Lady Diana, in fact, think about that when she went out there fearlessly and walked on mines and hugged the AIDS patient? I'm old enough to remember the AIDS thing, and it hit Sydney unbelievably. I worked in an industry surrounded by the gay population, a creative industry, and people I know were dropping like flies. Like, people were just dying everywhere. And there was so much fear around contracting the AIDS virus, that we were going to all die of AIDS. Even though it was sort of a selective part of the population then, only people with blood transfusions, and the gay population, oh my God, there was so much going on about that. But then so many people, children, mothers, so many people came out with it, and oh my God, you mean I don't have to be a gay man to catch it, or a blood transfusion patient, I can catch it. So there was a lot of fear then. This thing that we're going through now is bigger. It's bigger, much bigger. But it's doing its job. It's dredging up. It's dredging up the fear. It's making us really look at it. What are we afraid of? What are we afraid of, and why? And do we still want to live like that? Anyway, I was going to tell you, somebody had written, I had said, did these people fear? And no, they just loved, and love is stronger than fear. And somebody put, you're fear shaming. Stop fear shaming. And I thought, oh my God, this would make such a great Monty Python skit. You've got Jesus on the mound saying, the kingdom of heaven is within you. And then you've got a heckler saying, stop fear shaming us. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Don't tell me what to do. I like my fear. Let me have my fear. Anyway, I just thought of Monty Python when I read that comment. You got to laugh. I met two little ladies on the beach the other day before they shut the beaches, who were looking at the ocean, and one turned around. Oh, that was so cute. They were so little, and I'm big, see. And they started talking to me. One did anyway. The other one looked like she didn't want to until I engaged her. And they said, "What do you think about all this?" And I'd just come away from the Facebook stuff and gone for a walk, and all these people vilifying me on Facebook for saying that you can't get it if you're not a vibrational match to it. Obviously, people don't understand the way the universe works. Anything we manifest, we have to be a vibrational match to. Doesn't mean that you're an awful person, or that you don't have fear, or we all do. We're human. Anyway, so I said, "Oh, look, I've got a very different perspective." And she said, "Well, tell me your perspective." And I said, "Well, if I get the virus and die, I'm going to go out laughing." And the two of them just cracked up. They just cracked up. I said, "I'm going to enjoy my life. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to love. I'm going to live fearlessly. And if I die, I'll die laughing." And they just cracked up, and they just said, "Oh my God, thank you so much. We've been so scared. We've been so fearful. My son's a chiropractor, and he's so scared, and everyone's so scared." And it was the first time they'd had a good laugh for a while, and they just thanked me so much for just giving them a different perspective. And I looked at them, they're probably in their 70s, and I guess you think about death when you're in your 70s more than you do in your 60s or 50s or 30s or 40s or 20s, because you're kind of closer to it, right? And I could see that this kind of sense of this peace just fell over their faces as they had a good old belly laugh about dying laughing, because I'm sure they've contemplated their own deaths. When you're in your 70s, you probably do. And if I'm going to die soon, whether from old age or some virus, I've got to enjoy the moment. And so then we started talking about the beauty of the ocean, and we just enjoyed the moment. And they dared me to go in the water. It was kind of cold, and there was this other older lady, she was a bit older than me, that got in there, and I thought, oh, well, if she can do it, I can do it. And I got in there, and we all laughed, and it was just such a lovely interaction. Such a lovely interaction. And yes, I could have stayed home and been good and not gone to the beach. But, I didn't spread the virus, I didn't get the virus, and we had this beautiful interaction. And then as I was on my daily hunt for toilet paper, I'm again in the supermarket, and there's another older man telling me about his 93-year-old brother screaming in the supermarket about how he washes his bum with water. Oh my God, you've got to laugh. You've just got to laugh because there was no toilet paper. My daily hunt for toilet paper, I haven't found any yet. Anyway, bought some baby wipes. Oh dear. You got to laugh. It's a crazy old world we're living in right now. It is a crazy old world we're living in. And if you are pushing back at people that are telling you not to worry and stay loving, you'll be all right. Just ask yourself, what is it that you're really afraid of? Like really afraid of. It makes, one of my friends said, well, she didn't swear, but she said, OFFS, work that out. You're batshit crazy or something, like, for fuck's sake, you're crazy. Because I was talking about, why be afraid of death? And I think to most people that this thought that death is to be feared is such a entrenched belief in our world that we are seen as crazy if we're not afraid of death. If we're not afraid of dying, like, you're crazy, you're going to die. You speak to the dead, they tell you how beautiful it is. It's all a part of the fear. This fear of death is just such a big part of what it is to be human. And the shift has hit the fan, we have to alleviate some of the fear that we live with. And the fear of death is a big one across our world. What if, just imagine, what would this world look like if people were not afraid to die? If they understood that we are multidimensional, that we come from realms of unimaginable bliss and beauty, and that we're here for a short time, like we go on holidays, to experience contrast, to learn. If humanity actually knew that and lived that, like really lived that, imagine a world that we would live in. It would be a very different world, wouldn't it? Keep imagining, use your powerful focus. Don't imagine getting sick and dying. Imagine a world where fear is less, where people understand who they are. Death, no one's getting away with it. No one's going to live eternally in their physical body. Death is a big part of life, and it's nothing to be feared. We've got to live in the moment while we're here, because one day we will return to that place that we come from, or at least to some other place. If we don't go to that place that we come from, we'll go somewhere. And we'll keep having creative adventures. And we'll see from those broader perspectives that we are creating it. We are creating all of it. We are the creators of our reality. And so we have a choice in the moment. What do I want to create right now? Do I want to buy into the fear? Do I want to feel fear? Or do I want to feel love? It's a choice. It's a choice. Keep loving, keep laughing. Big love. Bye for now.